What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikaPikaPaPa, and here we are at the beginning of the month, and I get so excited whenever that calendar page flips. Like, I am going to share with you some things that I am going to target for the month of November. After that, we have our PSA graded card video coming out. After that, we have our top 10 cards that exchanged hands the most on TCG Player. We just start off with such fun content here on the PikaPikaPaPa channel. I love the beginning of every single month. Now, as you can see in the beginning, I said, hey, listen, I am looking for a different type of product this month. And now why is that? That's because, well, unless you've been sleeping under a Pokémon rock and not watching any kind of YouTube at all, there is no shortage of people. Oh, who's that guy? There he is again. Who's that dude again? There's no shortage of people who are out there telling us that the Poké market is dropping like a rock. And listen, that's okay. These savvy collectors who watch this channel, the people who are out there playing chess instead of checkers, like, nobody cares about that. Does it suck to see the value of your collection come down? Absolutely. But if you're in this for the long run, if you're a true buy and hold collector, if you're a true investor in this space, you understand that markets are cyclical, right? Like, you're going to have highs, you're going to have lows, and a lot of us get really excited when the market starts to soften, because guess what? We could pick up some products at prices we haven't seen in a very long time, and that gets me all kinds of excited. Now, at this point in the market, I don't know how far it's going to drop. I don't know how long it's going to drop for. And the reality is nobody knows. You never know where the bottom is. But I will say that since this market is just starting to take a downturn, what I'm looking at right now is I'm looking for items that I can get into that I feel like have a very low degree of volatility, right? I want to see them either at their 1-year low or really close to their 1-year low. I want to feel that the price that they're at right now, it's hard for me to imagine them going any lower. It doesn't mean that they won't. It doesn't mean that they won't go down a couple bucks. But when I'm looking at the products that are on this list today, I feel very safe that the price that I can buy them at today, I am going to see nothing but great upside in the future. And another thing I wanted to call out too is, listen, it's November. Like, it is time for us to be getting the list together for Mr. Santa Claus. Like, me and Mr. Claus are tight, but I understand the elves are working their tails off right now. Mr. and Mrs. Claus are getting pumped for the big day. So the sooner I can get my list together, pop it in the mail, get it off to the North Pole, I know the better the odds are of me getting some of this really cool stuff under the Christmas tree on Christmas. And so listen, we've got some fun stuff to talk about. We do this all the time. So if this type of video gets you excited, hit that subscribe button. Questions or comments, drop them down below. And as always, if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. Those 3 small things go a long way in helping my small channel out. So with further ado, let's get into it right now. Now, this might surprise some of you, but I think this Charizard Ultra Premium Collection box is a fantastic pickup in a volatile market, and here's why. Look at the price graph there in the bottom right. It has been flat the entire year. Not a lot of products have been flat the entire year. A lot of products have been going up and to the right, and now we're starting to see them come back down. This product was super hyped pre-launch. It came out, and it was absolutely printed into oblivion. So that is why the market came out and said, listen, this is not a $150, a $200, a $300 box like we saw with the Celebrations Ultra Premium Collection. This is a $90 to $100 box, and it has stayed there. And actually, I love that, because I have a strong feeling that no matter what the market does, it's not going to drop below that right now. So you can still get these for right around $100. They're easy to find on eBay. I'm sure if you're a savvy searcher, you can find them for less than that. And I will say this, there's Evolving Skies in there, like there's Charizard promos in here. Like, it is just a cool box. It is going to age really well. I know it was printed into the ground, but I also know that people opened this like crazy. I talked to one guy at a show not long ago who said they had opened close to 2,500 of these because they were going after those Charizard promos and they were going after the Evolving Skies packs in there. He said he was able to buy them at such a cheap price that it made sense to try and flip all the singles that he could pull out of this, and he ended up making money in the long run. So I know it was printed into the ground, but I also think that there were a lot of these that were opened. I think from a downside perspective standpoint, it's got Charizard on it. Sure, it was printed a lot, but it's an ultra premium box. I think the bottom is already baked in. I think this one is a very safe investment for us to take a look at here in the month of November. Speaking of safe investments, and this might catch a lot of people off guard, but I am a big fan of Darkness Ablaze booster boxes at their current prices. Look at the price chart on the right. It has gotten up to $150 a couple times over the course of the year. Now it is down to $134. Let me say this. Here's why I love this. It's a 3-year-old box at a 1-year low price, and guess what? It's still a Charizard set. Like, you've got Rebel Clash on one side that's going for $200 a booster box. You've got Sword and Shield on the other side of it that's going for almost $300 $100 a booster box. Then you got Darkness Ablaze right here, which is going for $135. And I understand the Charizard in this isn't that big chase Zard. There's tons and tons and tons of them out there and in PSA 10. But at the end of the day, again, 3-year-old Charizard set, booster boxes is going for less than MSRP. Like, I think there is a ton of safety in this in the long run. At the end of the day, even if the singles cards don't do well, from a sealed collector perspective, there's a lot of people who like the complete sets of the Sword and Shield era or of the Scarlet and Violet era or the Sun and Moon era. There will always be value in that. We know that sealed Pokemon product as a whole over time does really well. I think this is a fantastic price point to get in at, and this is one that is for sure on PikaPikaPapa's Christmas list. Now, coming in at number 3 right here, I love Celebrations at this point. I love that it's 2 years old now. I love it's an anniversary set. I love that this is the Celebrations Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer box. It is a little bit above its 1-year low, but not by much. This is another product that has been coming up and going down and coming up, and it is in the middle of a downturn right now. I don't think any of us have begun to even see what Celebrations is capable of. We know that there's been a lot of Celebrations out there in the market. It's finally starting to flush out. Like, we were able to find those Lance's Charizard boxes all over the place for a really, really long time. And I think when I'm thinking of the exclusivity, obviously I love those Ultra Premium Collection boxes. I got one of them right over my shoulder here. I think those are great. But when I'm looking for value, I think this hasn't even come close to reaching its long-term upside potential. It's at $111 right now. You can get it for less than $110. I was searching on eBay earlier. Like, I think this is a great, great box. I think it has lots of upside, and I think that we have yet to see what Celebrations will do, because I think now a lot of people are shifting their attention from Celebrations, which was that anniversary set, super nostalgic. Everybody's looking at 151 right now. So while everybody's looking to the right, we're going to look to the left and say, hey, the Celebrations UPC, or the Celebrations Elite Trainer box from the Pokemon Center is a great, great pickup. Man, I don't know why that was so hard to say. The next one right here, again, looking for value, looking for safety, and this might surprise a lot of you because I'm not doing a ton of Ultra Modern right now, but this Paldea Evolved booster box, I think, is just primed to take off and do well in the future. Now, when you look at the singles prices here, I have Scarlet and Violet, I have Paldea Evolved, I have Obsidian Flames, I have all of that broken out there, and you see that when you compare the booster box price to the average of the top 20 card prices and you break that down into a ratio, you will see that the Paldea Evolved box seems to have the most value. Then we've done a ton of research and data dives on this in the past. Believe it or not just the top 20, but the middle 16 cards seem to have the greatest correlation between future booster box performance. And then when you look at it here, Paldea Evolve again comes out on top. Now, I'm under no illusion that these singles prices are going to maintain at these level. I know they're going to come down over time. More people are going to be ripping Paldea Evolve. But again, this is an awesome set, and I think it's a great buy at $95. Any booster boxes under $100, I think there is all kinds of safety in that. Do I think that this is going to be available just for a short amount of time at $95? I don't. I don't think you have to rush out and get it right now. I think we're going to have months and months to pick this up. But again, when I'm in the market right now where I'm trying to figure out where's it going to go, is it going to continue to go down? Is it going to start to flatten out? I know that this is a really, really safe pickup, and I have all the confidence in the world that this is going to do really well. If you watched one of our videos a couple weeks ago, we pointed out, we looked at Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield, and we looked at the first 4 sets from both of those eras. The number 2 set in both of those eras had a really, really strong 22% rate of return since they launched. So Paldea Evolved is a strong set, and those number 2 sets have a strong track record of performance. That's why this one made the list, and that's why I think now might be a great time to pick it up if you haven't already done so. Now, this final one is a bit of a flyer, and in full transparency, I am not going to be picking it up this month, but I have it on here because I think this is something that is really worth keeping an eye on, and this is the Shining Legends Elite Trainer Box. Look at that price graph. Over the last year, this thing has been dropping like a freaking rock, and sometimes products, for whatever reason, they get momentum up or they get momentum down, and they just can't seem to shake that trend, and they just, even though it might not make sense, they continue either in an upward or a downward trajectory. I think we saw that with a lot of the Sun and Moon products coming out of the pandemic. I think a lot of them just for whatever reason had this momentum, and they just continued to climb and climb and climb, and it didn't make a ton of sense, and that's why the market's turning around right now. This box, I think, is doing the opposite. I think this box is coming down and down and down just because the momentum is pushing it down. Now, this is 6 years old, and Shining Legends was an epic set. There's some amazing artwork, some awesome Pokemon in it. Like, I love everything about the Shining Legends ETB. I don't have it in my personal collection. collection yet. I have been watching this for 6 months. I'm not pulling the trigger right now, but if that starts to flatten out a little bit, or hopefully if it continues to drop down even more, I think this would be an awesome opportunity to add a really, really cool Elite Trainer box to my personal collection for all kinds of future price growth. Because again, as I said in the beginning, the market is going to turn around. The market will absolutely, it's going to do what it's going to do. It's going to flush out for a little bit, but I don't think Pokemon is going anywhere anytime soon, and this Shining Legends box is a freaking awesome pickup. Now, with that being said, listen, what I was saying earlier, we got some really cool videos coming up. If you made it to the end and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Questions or comments, drop them down below. And as always, if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. Most importantly, if you're out there and you've got a bunch of money into Pokemon, don't fret, my friends. This too shall pass. Savvy investors and collectors are getting ready to salivate, because I think we're going to have some awesome opportunities to pick up some really cool product here in the not too distant future. I hope you all have an epic one, and as always, I appreciate you. See you, everybody.